Greetings, everyone. It's your PASTEE and PRISCY Bible Trivia. Your motivations, encouragement, and hope in Christ are concerned. We are continuing our Bible story about Ruth and Naomi. But today, we are talking about Ruth found favor in the eyes of Boaz. When Ruth wondered the kindness Boaz is showing to her, she asked, "Why have you been so good to a stranger?" And he replied, "I have heard the love that you shown to Naomi, the unselfish love, devotions, and everything. May the Lord bless thee and keep thee under whose wing you have come to trust." At mealtime, Boaz invited Ruth to come and have a dinner with them. He waited that she might have enough to eat and drink. When Ruth was satisfied, she went to the field to glean again. When she had gone, Boaz commanded his young men to allow her to glean among the sheaves, drop some handful purposely for her, and not to embarrass her or rebuke her. So Ruth worked in the field all day, and then beat the barley for which he had gleaned, and took it to the city to show Naomi, who was very glad indeed and very thankful. When Naomi asked Ruth where she had gleaned, and she told her the whole story, Ruth said to Naomi, "Boaz was a nearly relative, and it was very good for her to glean at his field, as he had given her the permission to work on the field until the end of the harvest." So Ruth kept close to the maidens and worked on the field of Boaz until the end of the barley and the wheat harvest. One night, Boaz was to have a winnowing of barley. So Naomi asked Ruth to put on her best clothes and be ready to go to the winnowing and the feast, and asked Boaz what she was to do. When we read Ruth chapter 3 verse 7 going, Bible ne ma say Ruth eye de Naomi e ka kyerɛ no nyinaa, and at the end of the winnowing, Boaz was much grateful. Nani esɔ deɛ Ruth eye bia na afei osira no. He gave her a large quantity of barley, and Ruth took it to the city and gave it to her mother-in-law Naomi, telling her what Boaz had said. Naomi was comforted, for she knew that Boaz would advise them wisely. After this, Boaz went to the city to consult the chief and the other men who were interested in the welfare of Naomi and Ruth. When he found that it would wrong no one, he said he would take Ruth as his wife. The people said, "We are witness to it." So Boaz married Ruth, but in her new position as a wife of a very wealthy and influential man. This noble woman did not forget her love for Naomi, for which she tenderly cared for. Lovely people, as the story is ending, when a little son came to bless the union, Naomi was glad and rejoiced, for he felt as though it was her own little son, and named him Obed, and delighted in taking care of him. When Obed became a man, he married and gave birth to a son named Jesse, who intended to be the father of David, the great king of Israel. Jesus was in the house of David, and God's promise for his chosen people was fulfilled. What do I want you to learn from this story? Do what you know is right, not what looks right to others. Following your heart with integrity can increase your influence with others. When Ruth gained favor from Boaz, she went from being a foreigner to be someone who was blessed, respected, and honest. When you know what is right and you follow your heart with integrity, your leadership will always increase with potential. Remember to remain humble and keep on working when God blesses you. Our past is not our final decision when we keep trusting in the Lord. As human, when you decide to do the right thing, it often takes a great sacrifices. We should be a people who show good character when we think no one is watching us. Ruth adibia na woye bia no na wonim se obi ehye no, And say Ruth nam hɔnom no one will guess that the bloodline from Jesus will come from her. Na obiara anim, but through Ruth, God promised for his chosen people was able to be accomplished. Nti yɛnam hɔ a de bɛyɛ bi ɛma yɛn ani ɛnda hɔ nom. Ɛfiri sɛ Nyankopɔn ɛwɔ anipa ɛma wɔ biara. God has a purpose for each and everyone on this earth. God uses unlikely people for his purpose. Ruth no he never guessed that millions of people will read her story today. She lived a simple life, yet he showed incredible character. So, lovely people, we should learn, follow our hearts, do what is right, and we shouldn't let our past take our final destination for us. Because when you trust God, Nyankopɔn ɔwɔ nipa bebree ɛyɛ den ɛma yɛn.